I there's something there's
You wouldn't want an alpha female that's the alpha of the other females.
What is an alpha female?
Yeah,
what does that
even mean?
So 2 questions. What does it mean to be an alpha female, and how did you just even come to the initial conclusion that men want this?
I felt it.
How you feel?
I've experienced it. Like I feel it. I experience it. Like
Wait, so when you say you felt it, you mean men have been attracted to you?
Because so I'll throw back to like internet culture 2016. I was extremely political. I was in college back in 2016 during the election. I was extremely political and open about my views, my conservative views.
Yeah.
And that was it ruffled a lot of feathers, like for people in my own peer group. Mm-hmm. But there were men that were steadfast Obama lovers and, Trump is literally the end of the world. But I still have them in my DMs to this day.
The lib dudes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the fact that...
So maybe simps?
Well, hold on. This would...
But these are men, these are very successful men, and it's something about the mere fact that I was willing to go into like a college party and talk about my views and be open about my views.
What about the conservative men though?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no problem with them either.
No, but you said that in 2016 you were outspoken with your conservative values online, and all these liberal men were showing interest in you.
No.
Liberal men who are perhaps more feminine, and they're seeking a dominant woman.
I mean, possibly, but I had both. What I'm saying is that the things that they would tell me, and the fact that we're sitting here 6 years later and they're still in my DMs telling me the same thing.
Telling you what? That they're into you? What do you mean? What are they telling you?
Yeah, that they'll take care of me. They're this text,
But
person.
is that because, let's make sure we're not attributing things to things that aren't actually there. They're into you because you're a dominant woman?
I mean, that's what they've said. Yeah,
they've told you.
Yeah, like they really respect that I am me unapologetically, and I'm able to be myself unapologetically, whether that goes with society and what society tells you or not.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think men lie to get laid?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
100%.
if a woman, for example, like if I was inclined to try to bed a woman and she was a boss babe, I don't think it would help my chances for me to be like, listen, I don't give a fuck about your career. I don't care about your ambition. You think it's gonna hurt my chances of getting laid? So here's the thing you gotta remember. Men will lie and they'll gas you up. Oh, you wanna do XYZ? Here's these things that are important to you. They're going to cater to you. They're going to, I'm trying to think of the...
Adopt those...
They're going to, there's a specific term for it, but it's leaving my mind. They're just essentially going to lie. Mm-hmm. Guys have never lied to you to get pussy?
No, and that's a possibility. But at the end of the day, here we are 6 years later. I mean, and you're still hooked. Like, I haven't given anything.
It's a bit anecdotal. It's a bit anecdotal.
I think she's getting at the point that I believe overall most men want a soft feminine, all this about a woman, but there is a healthy balance, right? Because a lot of people correlate a soft feminine woman to a doormat. Yeah, and I think what she's saying is you don't have to be a doormat to be a soft feminine woman, because you can still have your, I think dominant is the word that's striking everybody out, but like you can still have your opinions and know who you are and have your own thoughts. I think that's the overall point is, I don't think...
I would agree with that. I just don't categorize that as dominant.
I think
I would
that's
say
where
competent, like reserved.
And I'll tell you, when I put out this
throwing
tweet, it was very random. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. Like, it was a very spur of the moment, just... It's Twitter. Like, I'm just rambling.
Just saying shit.
So, like, maybe my articulation wasn't fully, like, there.
Sure.
But
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's an experience that I can't deny that I've had in my life, being an outspoken woman.
Well, here's the thing, right, is that any woman, kind of almost regardless of how she's presenting herself, whether it's very feminine or even she's very masculine, if she's an attractive woman, and even if she's not an attractive woman, if she's even average, women are inundated with sexual options. Mm-hmm. The degree to which women have sexual optionality is comparative to men is wild. Mm-hmm. An average woman has the equivalent sexual optionality as essentially a male celebrity. And so the issue there, though, is that you might confuse that sexual optionality or even romantic optionality for the potential for long-term partnership. And I would argue a man might be willing to...
Was that the popcorn?
What was that? Is it spilled? Yeah, okay. Well done. Hold on.
Damn it.
That's a fucking 50 DKP minus! What the fuck was that shit?
Anyways, okay. What was I saying? I forgot. Whatever.
Well, I mean, I've only been in long-term relationships. I don't do casual dating. So, I mean, however, the way I present myself has obviously been enough to secure long-term partnership.
Sure, but I mean, and it's not clear to me if you are, like, do you consider yourself a dominant woman?
Not in my relationship.
But
you're assertive.
Yeah.
You're assertive. Dominant is the wrong word, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's what it is.
Because I feel like I'm the same way, but in my relationship, I do not talk to men that way. I have
Right.
brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't talk to men that
I
way.
also
and
think-
going back, like,
My
I'm very
man,
traditional.
assertive,
I want to
yeah.
cook for my man. I want to serve my man. I want to
Same.
clean for my
I think
man.
something
you
I've
know?
also talked to one of my buddies about a lot is does a woman respect men in her life? So if a woman is going out of her way to respect men, then that's also super attractive. So it's not like the men aren't respecting her, but there's like a difference to that. Knowing like I'm going to treat this man with respect. Like I know that men are I guess naturally dominant, natural leaders. I respect that about them. There's something about that that's different than me. And then I love when a man like treats a woman differently. Like I'm not going to lay hands on a woman. I guess it depends on the scenario. Like if she comes at me with a knife, then maybe I have to do something about it. But I'm going to treat a woman differently than I would a man. So there is that difference.
let's get through the tweets.
Yeah.
There's more.
There's more?
I think there's more.
Oh gosh.
But
Okay.
wait, there's more.
Wait, can you,
Was not expecting you
you wanna-
guys really
do you wanna
went
read
out
it?
here on something here. All right. Good thing my Twitter got banned in 2016. But all right, men won't break up with you; they'll just turn extremely toxic. Women won't break up with you; they'll just find someone else.
Agreed.
interesting. We'll
That's
we'll
coming
skip over.
from
We'll
long-term. You know, I've experienced
Next.
dating.
Agreed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I love masculinity and I love men, but I will never blame women for the state of society. We should all acknowledge the need to do better on both sides, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, men lead and women follow.
Yes.
But you'll never blame women.
I will sit here and have a conversation one-on-one with somebody and tell her the woes of what she's doing for society.
But it's ultimately at the end of the day, it's men's fault.
Yeah. And I'm not a feminist. I love men.
Okay.
I love men and I respect women.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're conservative, right? So, and I'm not advocating that we necessarily do this, but it would be the case, for example, if, and again, I'm not advocating for this, if we were to pull back women's ability to vote, well, conservative parties would start winning elections. Would you be in favor of that?
Yeah, I think majority of women think emotionally, and emotions don't have a place in governing society. So
you want to repeal the 19th?
I personally don't, because I as an individual, I like the way I vote. I think I vote good
but
for
hold on.
society.
So let's say there's a 40-year-old
fight,
let's
bro,
say
but
there's
you
a
sound like
40-year-old man who's very well versed in politics. He has a deep understanding of various political issues. He researches various, the positions of his local politicians, his state politicians, and his federal politicians. He's smart. He's well researched. If you want men to lead, how can we lead if an 18-year-old woman who has no knowledge of politics can essentially neutralize
I agree.
that 40-year-old man's vote
I agree.
by voting for the opposite of whatever he votes for?
I agree.
Why is
So-
it any different as an 18-year-old woman versus an 18-year-old man? I feel like both of them will have the same.
Because
politics-
men are more likely, like even at 18 years old, to like not vote.
I don't know what.
like the
Not
wrong.
vote?
No.
Or
not vote in ways that are not like I said, women are just more emotional. They're more likely to vote for like social welfare, things that are maybe bad for the economy.
I don't know what 18-year-old boys you were hanging out around, but the 18-year-old boys I was around, I wouldn't want them voting on these issues either. They were not doing their due diligence. Not saying that women were.
No,
but
I mean, at the end of the day, the voting age should be like 25.
Exactly. I don't think this should be a gendered argument. I think this is an argument over the voting age is too young, if anything.
Wait,
but then it's
pull
like
up
if we
the
were
tweet
legal
again.
adults
Pull up the
at
tweet
18,
again.
I do think we should have that right. So it's like
Okay.
that's
At
why I
the
don't
end
say
of the
it should be
day,
same.
men lead and women follow. Well, one issue that I do see is that, and this is kind of even within the realm of relationships, but in order to be a leader, there has to be people who are willing to follow you. Because if everybody's just mutinous, not willing to follow, then you can't lead. Like in the dance, if somebody's the leader, they have to follow. If you're both trying to lead, it's fucked up. And so it occurs to me that even women will say they want a leader, but they're not prepared to follow.
I think maybe the person they're following isn't respectable enough.
Well, no, because with feminism, it's like implanted this other programming of like, don't listen to men.
Right.
Men are evil.
We're
men
at
are
an
bad.
extreme.
We're all
We're
not
at an
feminists,
extreme
though.
at this point in society, unfortunately.
Like I'm trying to think of an example here, but like I remember I was dating this girl a long time ago, and I was like, I was sick or something, and been dating her for months, and I was like, hey, can you make me some food or something? Politely, but I was like, hey, I'm not feeling good. Can you go make me some food? Even when I was sick, and she's like, kind of like the feminist gears were turning. Like, should I do this labor for my boyfriend? Like he's asked, and like that's how
She's
it
for
is
the
a lot of
streets.
time. Perhaps, I don't know, but
That is not a woman that is willing to serve her man. That is not. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if she was a woman willing to serve her man, she would have cooked for him because he was sick
Without
before.
asking.
You
Yeah,
shouldn't
Yeah.
ask these things
Ask.
beforehand, though. You can tell what kind of girl wouldn't serve you, wouldn't do things for you. Like, do you like to cook and clean? If her answer is, I'm not a slave, you already know right then and there
Yeah.
she's not that type of girl. What's your relationship
This
like
was
with your
years
dad
ago
or brothers? Before you knew all this?
you know, before I learned things.
Yes. Learn the ways of
Learn the
world.
ways of the monks. All right. Is there